Mozilla. I want to get to know a little bit about each of you, so I'll ask some questions and just raise your hand if you a yes or no answer, and then I'll move into a couple demos for Firefox 3.1, and then show a tool that we created for the Mozilla community, and we'll finish with a localization tool. So first question, and this one might be a fairly easy one. How many people are using Firefox? Okay, nearly everybody, but there are some who are not using Firefox. Okay. How many of you are web developers? Okay, we have some web developers. How many here are client application developers or software developers? Okay. How many of you, of those using Firefox, how many are using add-ons or extensions? Okay. What are some of the extensions you're using? Lee, which one are you using?
What am I using? The Firebug, and I'm using Firebug and something like so when drag and drop file keys, drag and drop a link and open a new tab, something like that.
Okay, and feel free to answer in Chinese if you'd like. That's easier. So Firebug is what a lot of web developers are using. Another extension that you can drag and drop links. Who else is using an extension or an add-on? Anyone? I saw some hands. Other examples? How about those who are using Firefox, who has developed an add-on before? Has anyone created their own add-on? I see one guy here, Amax, we know him. Anyone else written their own add-on? I developed my own add-on. I'm not a developer, I did it. Amax, which one did you develop?
You can say it in Chinese too if you like. I've developed several add-ons, like there are bundled in Firefox China edition, and some like Quick Launch and have improved live.
Okay, thank you. So, how many people don't know what an add-on is? Anyone? Okay. So, it's one of the things about the Mozilla platform. It's a very inclusive, participatory platform. It encourages people to use Mozilla, to use the open source code to develop, customize their browsing experience. So, it gives me a good sense of my audience here. My last question, how many people here either have translated software code or localizer or have done something with localization? I know we have one back there for sure. Another person here. What have you localized before? Like web, client application? You've done both? Enterprise application. Okay, so my role at Mozilla is, maybe I'll try an experiment. If I try to speak without the mic, you guys tell me right away if this is too quiet, okay? Do I need, and I don't need the microphone for the cameras, right? Okay.
So my role at Mozilla is, I'm the director of localization. So the last half of my presentation will specifically focus on translating Mozilla, some of the challenges of translating Mozilla, and then a tool that we created, or a Python-based library that we created to help improve translation of Firefox. That is very much a developer technical issue. It's not just translation. So I'll try to walk us through that quickly, and you guys can see what some of the challenges are to translating software, and then why it's actually a developer issue, and we'll need some help, okay? And the other thing is I want to frame this conversation to see if people are interested in participating in the Mozilla community. There's some ideas here on how you can get involved. So some of you may already be doing that, and I'll ask one last question. Just a quick show of hands. How many people here consider themselves a contributor to Mozilla? We have one. I know some guys here, obviously, Amax. What are you contributing to, just quickly?
Not yet, but I just want to contribute something.
Wants to contribute. Okay, great.
But
perfect.
one problem of the website, The document is it sucks.
The documentation, yeah, this is a big issue. So, in your name, please?
My name?
Yes,
Chinese speaker.
Chinese.
Jiang Feng.
Zhang Feng was saying that documentation sucks.
Yep.
We hear that all the time. So that's a great area where we can get contributors. Because documentation is the only way that we get people across the world contributing to our code. Anyone else a contributor? Did you raise your hand?
I'm not a contributor, but I want.
You're interested as well. And what, any areas in particular?
I'm a DB for all translate
Okay.
some documents.
Documents, translation.
Yes.
Okay, great. So let me move through a little bit about Mozilla. Mozilla is a global community, thousands of contributors worldwide, working together to promote choice and innovation on the web. That's our mission statement, okay? So anything we do is really just to promote choice and innovation on the web. Anyone can start contributing. And by that I mean you can contribute to did I miss that slide? I did. So anybody can start contributing, and I'll show you some of the areas where we can talk about. Some of these will be places where you guys have specific interest, and we can talk about where you can get involved. So support is one area where there's a large community of people contributing globally. Obviously, developers are contributing. Testing the browser, testing websites, testing all about different areas of Mozilla. Add-ons, we have some add-on developers here. Creating an add-on is not too difficult. Marketing, and of course, in my area, localization. So what do we know about Mozilla? A lot of people are familiar with Firefox. So Firefox is one of our leading web applications. We consider it leading free and open source software. We have a roughly 20% market share worldwide. We have about 200 million active daily users, and right now it is available in 64 different languages across 3 different platforms: Mac, Windows, Linux. So right now it's very much open on the web for everybody to participate and contribute to. About 85% of our current users hear about Mozilla and hear about Firefox through word of mouth. So we're not a huge marketing organization. We're not a big global, massive corporation. We're very much still a very community-driven project. So our success depends on coming to events like this, generating new community, blogging, involving others, having good documentation so people can contribute. We don't have a big advertising budget at all. It's very, very minor. It's a very small piece compared to large corporations like Microsoft or Google or Apple. So the fact that we have 20% market share on effectively a very small marketing budget is a testament to why community is so important to us. So different ways that we have community. There are campus reps who are speaking at colleges and getting activity among students. Right around the launch of Firefox 1, we had a community-driven marketing campaign. So Firefox 1 was being released, and a bunch of the contributors got together and they decided what would be the best way to promote this new browser. And so someone came up with an idea that said, if we raise enough money, maybe we can buy a small advertisement in the New York Times. So 10 days before the launch day, the day that they wanted to buy the advertisement, they put it out there on their blogs and they started circulating the idea. It turns out that they raised $250,000 US in 10 days, and that was enough for them to buy a 2-page full ad in the New York Times. And we included everybody's name who contributed to that, as well as all the developers who helped make Firefox.